Hi everyone, we're here for round number 1 in the Legacy format playoffs on the draw with an unplayable hand, so let's take a mulligan. See what we find. Okay, this is fine. I think we're going to bottom the Volk and be off to the races. So we'll see what my opponent is up to. Scalding Tarn. Scalding Tarn go. Okay, could be anything. Could be anything at all. So I'm gonna play Ponder off of a I think we're gonna play Ponder off of Volcanic Island in case we need to fire off this lightning bolt for any reason. Force of Will, Trop, Volk. Let's shuffle this. And we draw Force anyway. And we'll pass the turn here. Volcanic Island. Polluted Delta. So I think we're just gonna ponder here, look for a cheap threat, and wasteland this Volcanic Island. Spell Pierce me? Sure. No, and wasteland this. Here we go. So I'm not expecting Tundra. I was saying I'm not really expecting my opponent to have too many plays here, seeing that they paid Scalding Tarn and passed, and I'll expect the same thing this turn. Alright, no second land. Let's see if we can draw something like Tarmogoyf. That'll do it. So it's possible that this just gets plowed immediately, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. You know, I'm not really sure what we're up against. Jeskai is not a common configuration in today's Legacy meta. My opponent, with no respect for days, it'd be great to draw a land here and just slam this true name on the table. Days. Okay. Let's see what happens. My opponent passing. So this could be Miracles. Do I want to play this Lonely Sandbar tapped? Play True Name Nemesis next turn. The problem is, like, if I put Lonely Sandbar onto the battlefield, like, unless I wasteland myself or something, there's no way I can get it into the graveyard for Ren and 6 shenanigans. So I think I'm going to pass the turn and cycle it in my opponent's end step. My opponent is missing land drops here. If they are indeed on Miracles, you know, they really need to develop their mana base. They haven't played any cantrips. Okay, there's an island. And you want to pass priority in your end step? Let's cycle this. Flooded Strand. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just going to jam this True Name out here and force to back it up. I can't really let them just like sit around all day because their top end is going to be much more powerful than mine. If this gets forced, I think I am priced into forcing back and just, putting the race on. Have these bolts can hopefully race against the clock. Also, if this is like Brainstorm and Determinus. Yeah, so there's almost definitely a Terminus on top of my opponent's deck at this point. Oh, yep. No, okay. Okay. Does not have double white for Council's Judgment for now. Does not have Council's Judgment at all, it appears. Okay, so we have a second daze to go along with our Force of Will. I think I'm going to play out the Strand because I'd want to shuffle if I draw Brainstorm, and if we draw land again next turn, we can hard cast Force and have double daze backup. I'm not sure how relevant that is, but we'll see. So my opponent still knows the top card of their library. Let's see if they shuffle or play Terminus. Yep, there it is. So, since my hand does stone nothing against miracles, I need to force this. Alright, gets through. Gets through. Alright, no Council's Judgment mana. What do we have, a Jace on the way? Monastery Mentor. Okay. These bolts are going to get some value, I think. Alright, let's kill it. Let's go without a fight. So, what is in my opponent's hand is the question. Because they don't have counterspells, they don't have cantrips. Maybe additional mentors. Obviously something like Supreme Verdict would be a big pain. There's a Snapcaster Mage trying to Brainstorm, I think. Okay, we'll let Snappy resolve. Not too worried about this. It's possible they have another Terminus. It's now gone on top of the deck. Counterbalance. I think I have to daze that. So we're gonna return this Volcanic to our hand with daze. And then I think I will fire off the Brainstorm here. Since I have this fetch and I would like to find some protection for the Terminus that's probably coming in. So am I interested in wastelanding this Tundra? Definitely going to put Volk on the bottom. I think my opponent's mana base... Yeah, I think my opponent's mana base has developed past the point where I really care about wastelanding Tundra. So we're going to fetch in our upkeep. And we draw a Hex Drinker. Okay, so I'm not going to add anything to the battlefield right now. Obviously, Terminus here is just 1 for 1, since my opponent also loses. They do not have it. Interesting. Let's see if our opponent found a Council's Judgment or something off the top there. Alright, now with this Force of Will, I think think we're in good shape. Last time they stacked their brainstorm so that Terminus was the second card down. So I'm going to play around that for now. And see what happens here at the end of the turn. Predict me. Okay. So I'm going to put my top card into the graveyard. So we'll see if this is the Terminus here. Ooh, that's a good one. So reveals Terminus. And cast it. So the question here is if I want to pitch the Brainstorm or the Delver to Force of Will. So if I had a fourth land in play, I think I would just pitch the Delver, untap and play Hex Drinker next turn. I have the Bolt to clear the Snapcaster out of the way. Let's pitch the Brainstorm because I think we have what we need. We have the ability with these three cards to close out the game in one way or another. And we'll see if our opponent has a force or maybe counterspell. Ooh, Force of Negation. Okay, you got it, opponent. So this happens. But it's costed my opponent a lot of resources. 3 cards in hand, they don't do anything. Okay, there's Flooded Strand. So I think here I'm gonna just play this Hex Drinker and try to take it up to level 4. Yeah, because then we can untap next turn and play Delver. If things go awry here. And this might get plowed. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And then we'll play Delver of Secrets. Hopefully we can flip for a win. Next turn, we'll see if we can fade something like Jace here. Okay, this looks good. Polluted Delta, not good. So we're going to play that out. Kind of get a pseudo scry next turn, assuming this Delver lives. I'm going to attack here. If they play a Snapcaster Mage, just so my opponent with 2 cards in hand. Don't blind Terminus. Nice. Passes. Ponder. Yes. We'll see, this might elicit a Snap Plow. Predict me. Okay, since I'm not going to be able to draw this Ponder, I don't want my opponent to draw 2 cards, so I'm going to shuffle my deck. I guess get a block. What do you name? What do you name? Guess here could name. I played 2 Ponders, 1 Brainstorm, 1 Daze. Yeah, my opponent doesn't have like a clear name here. Definitely not Magmatic Sinkhole. True name Nemesis. Okay. Just gonna attack with the Silver. I'm gonna keep this Bolt in my hand because really I want to wait for my opponent to make a move to avoid dying next turn before I expose this Bolt to anything like a Flusterstorm or blah blah blah. Alright, this game should be over. You can Brainstorm. make some tokens. We'll see if my opponent wants to fight over anything here or just scoop it up. Alright, great. So unfortunately, this matchup I think is much better with the Nimble Mongoose build because it lets you board out your Delvers, board out like your 2 Tarmogoyfs, and then you're just leaning on Dreaming Nemesis, Nimble Mongoose, and you bring in, Winter Orbs and stuff. Like I talked about before, you can't really play Hex Drinker and Winter Orb because the synergy just isn't there, but we'll see what we have. So we definitely have Sylvan, last minute addition that I decided to go with, going to be good here. Reb's going to be good here. Veil of Summer I think is fine. So my opponent showed me a Volcanic in game 1. Usually the Miracle Stacks are just splashing for Red Blast. So is it worth bringing that in just to counter Red Blast? I'm not sure. So we're going to cut Sinkhole. Wasteland in this matchup is like pretty medium, even though my opponent is on the red splash. Like, it's pretty easy for them to play around it just by fetching basics in the early parts of the game, because they're okay taking a couple of hits from your Delvers and stuff, and just relying on turning the corner a little bit later on. But also, so like if I'm keeping Wasteland. If I'm keeping Wasteland, I don't think I want Blue Blast. So I think I'm going to trim. I'm going to trim 2 Wastelands. All this other stuff is pretty good. Ponder. Spell Snare. Oh, my opponent showed us Counterbalance as well. Let's take out 1 Daze. Oops, not a Tarmogoyf. 1 Daze for those 4 cards. I think experienced Miracles players are going to play around Daze like all the time, and on the draw, it's even harder to leverage that advantage. The advantage of a free counter spell. This is a pretty good hand. It will probably have to defend this Delver a little more aggressively than usual. A lot of Portent here. Draw more lands, not great. So we'll go Volcanic Delver. And I think if my opponent just plays a land and tries to plow me, I'll fire off this Force of Negation. Another Portent. So I'm happy to see my opponent start off with a cantrip here. I do have to be wary of... Oh wow, no second land. So I think given the fact that my opponent missed their second land drop, we have a lot of counters and a land that we want to shuffle away. I'm going to brainstorm with the miracle with this trigger on the stack. Okay. So I think we want to keep a wasteland around just in case like my opponent draws Tundra, because at this point, if there's a Tundra in there with that Portent, they can't risk shuffling when they're mana screwed. So we'll shuffle away this Polluted Delta and flip on a Ponder. And since my opponent appears to be stumbling, we're going to try to tighten the screws here with a second Delver. I think you can't really be too afraid of overcommitting in this matchup and like getting blown out by their wraths and whatever, because you can't hope to ever outgrind Miracles. It's just not going to happen. They have so many powerful spells at the top end of their curve, chases and stuff. Another Delver. Okay, I'm going to keep this one in my hand. We will ponder here in case my opponent decides to flash in a Snapcaster. This is good. This is good. So next turn, I'd like to flip on Daze. I'm going to draw Veil here, even though we can't cast it. Again, here I'm not going to play a land because if my opponent decides to play a Snapcaster Mage, I can bounce the Trop with Daze, replay it, and have Veil up next turn. Here I'm okay. I think I'm okay with this Plow because we have another Delver on the way that we can actually just play this turn. So since my opponent did not go for a Terminus or have a Terminus last turn, I'm not afraid of putting a second Delver on the board. Oh, here it is. Okay, and we're going to. I think I'm going to pitch the. I'm going to pitch the Daze since we have one on top of our library. If we get Flusterstormed or something, no. Okay. Fetching. And maybe a counterbalance here. Yeah, that's gross. So we'll flip on a Daze. And start bashing in here. Engineered explosives on 1. So I have to force this. See what's on top of our opponent's deck. Alright, opponent has a Plow on top, so I cannot cast Veil of Summer. We'll let this Ponder resolve for the same reasons. They chose to shuffle away the Plow. Do I want to fire off Veil for no value at the end of the turn? Like, I'm in kind of an awkward spot where this card potentially is going to be hard to get value from. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it in my hand, because if anything, this just lets me check their counterbalance, like, kind of for free. All right, so we'll see if my opponent can draw a Terminus here. Nope. Brainstorm. I kind of don't want to show them that I have Veil of Summer in my hand. Engineered explosives, Ponder. Okay, opponent passes. See if they have something in my upkeep, maybe like a predict. Going down to 1. Getting a mountain, interesting. Power Blast my Delver, maybe with a Snapcaster Mage to follow that up. Okay. And a Plow. Okay. Well. Let's see if we can just get this through here. Engineered Explosive. Nice. That's GG's opponent. That is GG's. Alright. Win match number 1 against Jeskai Miracles. I'll see you for the next one.